Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I'm so excited you're here, because we're diving into something that literally affects every single one of us every single day. Think about it. Have you ever wondered what actually happens when you post a review or drop a comment on a TikTok or, share a hilariously relatable meme? You might think your post just kind of disappears into the void of your followers' feeds, but the truth is way more fascinating. Actually, it's a little crazy. Your public data, your entire digital footprint, is actively being scooped up, analyzed, and turned into super valuable intelligence. So today, we're going to expose these digital eavesdroppers and figure out exactly how the internet makes sense of you. Just think about the sheer chaotic volume of the internet for a second. Every single second, millions of posts, tweets, snaps, and comments hit the web. It's this massive, noisy, totally unpredictable ocean of human thoughts. It's chaos. So who's making sense of it all? How does a huge brand actually know if you love their new sneaker drop, or if literally everyone is secretly making fun of their cringy new marketing campaign? Spoiler alert, it's not just a room full of interns scrolling on their phones. It's an incredibly sophisticated system. All right, let's dive right into this. Decoding the digital world. Art versus science. So the formal, fancy name for all this is social media analytics, or SMA. Basically, it's the process of interpreting wild, totally unstructured data, and it actually operates on a really cool dual philosophy. On one side, you've got the science, right? The cold hard math, the algorithms, the bots scraping petabytes of chaotic data. But a bot doesn't naturally know what sarcasm is. It doesn't instantly get a niche internet meme. And that is where the art comes in. The art side requires human intuition to understand cultural contexts and all those weird behavioral nuances. See, traditional business analytics looks inward at, boring sales spreadsheets. But social media analytics, it looks completely outward at us, at public, highly emotional, super messy human conversations. So how do they actually pull this off? Well, imagine a massive digital factory assembly line. It takes in all these messy raw materials and refines them down into a shiny, finished product. And this factory basically runs on a continuous 3-stage loop. Stage 1 is capture, so gathering the data. Stage 2 is understand, which means analyzing that data. And stage 3 is present, visualizing the data, so it actually makes sense to normal people. Let's walk through this assembly line together, step by step. Okay, moving into stage 1, capturing the data. This is all about finding the signal in the noise. Before you can analyze data, you obviously have to find it first. Imagine trying to listen to one specific conversation at a massive, incredibly loud stadium concert. Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly what companies are doing to find the signal hidden inside the noise. To do this, they use highly automated tools, web crawlers, scrapers, platform APIs. Think of them as automated digital fishing nets that systematically scan the entire global internet, 24/7. They track specific keywords, brand mentions, hashtags, scooping up these massive real-time streams of public data, ignoring all the stuff they don't care about, and saving exactly what they need. Which brings us to stage 2, understanding the noise. Essentially, the ultimate digital vibe check. Okay, so once they have their net full of data, it's really just a massive, chaotic mess. First, they have to filter out the spam and delete the bot comments so they can run what is basically a massive automated digital vibe check. The main tool they use for this is called sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis uses something called natural language processing, or NLP. Basically, NLP is a super smart way of teaching computers to read and interpret human language. So instead of making some poor human read a million comments to see if people are happy or mad, NLP algorithms scan the text and automatically categorize the public mood as positive, negative, or neutral. It literally measures the emotion behind the keyboard. So put that into perspective, let's say a gaming company drops a brand new trailer. Within an hour, they can instantly see a breakdown of the public mood. Maybe 45% of the internet is hyped and totally positive. 35% is just neutral, maybe just sharing the link. But 20% are negative, like maybe they hate the new graphics or the character designs. This computational model takes all that massive, complicated human emotion and breaks it down into really easy to read slices. But the understand stage goes way deeper than just feelings. They also use something called social network analysis to map out exactly how information travels. It's kind of like tracing the gossip tree at high school to figure out exactly who the loudest, most influential voices are. And then there's trend mining, which is how they group rising conversations together to figure out exactly what is going viral right before it hits the mainstream. So they aren't just watching a fire burn, they're figuring out who lit the match and which way the wind is blowing. All right, now we reach the final step in our assembly line, stage 3, presenting the story, basically making it pretty. At this point, the data scientists have done all the heavy lifting, right? But a CEO probably doesn't know how to read complex code, so they have to bridge that gap by making the data look pretty. They visualize everything by filtering out the super complex analytical math and simplifying it into intuitive visual formats. We're talking dynamic, real-time dashboards using software like Power BI or Tableau. Just picture a giant screen in a corporate headquarters that literally flashes with red crisis alerts if a bad review suddenly goes viral. Or maybe it shows a rising green line tracking their share of voice against a rival brand. This whole setup lets non-technical bosses make immediate, strategic decisions without needing a PhD in computer science. So, why go through all this trouble? Let's talk about why this actually matters, the true strategic value. The absolute crucial point here is the difference between simply monitoring social media and actually having true social media intelligence. Monitoring is honestly just counting things, like, oh, hey, we got 500 complaints today. That just tells you what happened. It's totally reactive. But intelligence dives deep into that data to find the root cause. It tells you why it happened. And more importantly, how to fix it before those 500 complaints snowball into a massive PR disaster on TikTok. They are moving from just passively watching the numbers to fully understanding the narrative. Another massive reason brands do this is to track eWOM, which stands for electronic word of mouth. Let's be real for a second. If you see some glossy multi-million-dollar commercial for a new skincare product on TV, you're probably going to tune it out, right? But if a creator you actually follow posts a genuine review saying it completely cleared up their skin, you're way more likely to buy it. Peer-to-peer digital recommendations are trusted so much more than traditional ads. Brands know for a fact that your digital gossip is the most powerful marketing tool on the planet. So they use analytics to track, manage, and totally leverage those personal recommendations. And beyond just tracking eWOM, they have some really clever advanced goals. Have you ever noticed an ad that felt almost too specific to your exact kind of weird niche interests? That's called capitalizing on the long tail. It's using data to find super specific, small online communities that traditional mass marketing completely ignores, and then serving them perfectly tailored products. Oh, and my personal favorite, competitive benchmarking. Brands will literally scrape the interaction data of their rivals. If they see a bunch of customers complaining online about a competitor's slow shipping, boom, they will immediately launch an ad campaign promoting their own lightning-fast delivery. They're actively weaponizing their competitors' weaknesses. It's wild. So, when you pull it all together, social media analytics is essentially this massive value creation cycle. It takes the raw, unorganized, completely chaotic noise of the internet and converts it into high-value intelligence. It literally allows companies to read the digital pulse of millions of us simultaneously. So, the next time you leave a comment, post a review, or share a silly meme, just remember those digital eavesdroppers listening on the other side. They are constantly reading the digital pulse. So, what will your next post tell them? Thanks so much for hanging out for this explainer. Stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one.